All right. Hey guys, it's Tasha. If you're clicking on this video, I'm going to assume that you saw my Instagram drop the mic moment where he raped me, bitch, and this is what happened. That is what happened. That is what happened. But, and a lot of people ask me, like, can we have the full story? So I'm like, you know what? Okay. I'll put out the full story. But before I do that, full disclaimer, I want to talk about why I even did that video and why I'm going to tell you all my business. Because I hope it helps somebody, but I just want to tell you what initiated me doing it. So I've been seeing a therapist. Yes, a goddamn therapist. Presently, because for the past 3 years, everything I've touched for the past 3 years, relationship, situationship, friends with benefits, text buddy, phone buddy, lunch date, I have ruined. I've fucked up. So, and yes, I said everyone. Don't ask me. We don't talk about the last one right now. We talk about what I went through in my past to help me out. But, so basically, I've been seeing a therapist, and she told me that because of the feelings and the things that I went through in the past that I've been suppressing and harboring, I hold on to certain triggers, or there's certain mannerisms that I've acquired by me going through those things that has affected me in my relationships going forward. So what better way than to do the exact opposite of suppressing something, which is to say it out loud, to vocalize it. So basically that's what I'm going to do. And that's going to be a whole journey and everything for me. And I can't tell you my whole life, my whole business in one video, bitch. It's my whole life. How am I supposed to tell somebody my whole damn life? Because stuff is going to pop up in my mind. You know, I've been suppressing the shit. But at least you know why I'm doing it. And these are things that happened to me 3+ years ago, you know. So I don't want you to think I'm a champion, like I just went through it. It took me 3 years to even say it out loud, you know. But I'm hoping that it helped people. And if you want to reach out, you know, I can only tell you from my own experiences or whatever. So I wanted to start with, because I think in the videos, it was such a drop the mic moment that I feel like it was intense. It skipped over so much. And I think people see me also as a strong person. And I see myself as a strong person. I am a strong person. I had a weak moment, but I am a strong person. And, you know, so I wanted to start with kind of what buoyed into me even tolerating all of those things, you know, the rape and a whole lot of other things that we'll get into in future confessionals, bitch. Jesus Christ. This therapist better be right. She better be right. She better be right. Putting out all my business. You sure? You sure? But okay. So I wanted to get into kind of why I even stayed in the first place and what that trigger moment, because I think in those type of domestic violence or domestic abuse relationships, you have this dramatic moment. But rewind. So let me tell you what. I was married to an alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic, a successful alcoholic, and we were in a relationship and we were married. And these are the things that I went through with alcoholism, because I told him, alcoholism, I think of it as a game that the whole family plays, you know, and it really is a disease. It really is a disease. So I want to disclaim that addictions really are a disease, but that doesn't excuse a person being verbally and emotionally and mentally abused, you know. And a lot of times in any situation, the people that are closest to us are the ones that we punch the worst, are the ones that get it the worst. So I think everybody, because I try to be mindful of that when I'm going through my own thing, that not to take it out on my friends or your family, because those are the people that's closest. And, you know, a lot of times those are the people that are right there taking the punches for someone else. Anyway, I digress. So, before we even get started, I want you to know that I'm going to call him Peter, because in my house, we do not say his name. My son said we do not say his name, and I second that notion. So we don't say his name. I want us to get that housework out the way. We're going to call him Peter. P-I-T-A. Pain in the ass, because that's exactly what he is. So we're going to call him Peter, all right? So something really tragic happened in our relationship in 2013. And we actually got married in 2013. So in 2013, we had already been operating our telecommunications business. For people that don't know what telecommunications business is, what they are, what they do. So we do electrical engineering. We specifically focus on fiber optic, Wi-Fi. So let's say you get your cable or internet from Verizon. Before they can offer you these 4G services, they have to contract a company like ours to do the electrical engineering and the amps and lay the fiber mapping and things like that. I hope I made that make sense. But that's basically what our company was. So the company began to grow a little. We ended up having 2 employees around 2013. So at 2013, I knew that there was a drinking problem. I did, but I didn't really know. I thought it more was an attitude problem. Not quite a drinking problem, because we wasn't getting it like that back then. You know, we wasn't getting it. So when you're not getting it, you can't even afford to drink that much. So I knew it was an issue, but I thought it was just he was an asshole. So we have the company. We have 2 employees. Of the 2 employees, they worked in Jersey. We had a contract in Jersey. And one of the guys called me. So Peter just was a stingy motherfucker. Like one of those people that everybody help you come up and get on and you forget about them. One of those people that if I give you $1 to go to the curry out that one day, even though you've done so much for me, I'm a deductor. He was a deductor. That's what he did. He deducts. So I was getting calls from these employees that they weren't getting paid, that they didn't get paid. So finally I got a call from this girl in Jersey, and she was pregnant, and she called me, Miss Tasha, you know, Mr. Peter hasn't paid us. I'm pregnant. I'm feeling sick. This. So of course I'm like, no, you will be getting paid. Let me get home, and then I'll handle it. So I was in DC. I drove to Hyattsville. We lived in Hyattsville at the time. I drove to Hyattsville. I said, Peter, this is some bullshit. This is not how we operate. These people need to get paid. You got this. And now I'm really mad because this lady random called my phone talking about she didn't get paid. Either you go to the bank and send them that money, or I'll go to the bank and send them the money. He said, okay, we'll go to the bank. He mad. We're going to go to the bank, because this was before I started getting cussed the fuck out. It didn't just start with me getting cussed out. So we get to the bank. He's upset. We get the money. Once we get the money, he got a nasty attitude. How the fuck you gonna take their side over mine? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I was at my mother's house. I'm going back to my mother's house. You have a good day. And I left his ass right there. So I get to my mother's house. I get back home. He was the type of person that went to sleep 9:30. I get back home, about 2 hours being home. Somebody knocks on my door. It's 2 guys in trench coats, and they are PG County police detectives, and they tell me, they asked me, do I know Peter? I said yes. They said he's in a coma right now on life support in PG Hospital. So I'm like, what? Life support? Yes. So he was in a coma. I get to PG Hospital. He's on a breathing machine. He was in a coma. He didn't wake up for 7 days. I was in the hospital every day. And when people in a coma, they wake up, their eyes open, and they look at you. You think it means the world to you, but the doctors remind you that they really can't see you. You know, it's just a reflex and things like that. So for 7 days, he was in a coma, and I didn't know what happened. So finally, he woke up. Oh, my God, I'm so happy. You know, this is my man. He woke up. And I had left him during those 7 days. It was so hard because the last thing I said, bye, fuck you, you know, talking shit. That was the last thing I said. And I was like, if I wouldn't have left him, he would still be okay. So when he woke up, he woke up and he was scared. He was like, oh my God, Tasha, don't go anywhere. What happened? No, please don't. So I'm like, what the hell? I call the detective. What happened? What's going on? Because all we knew was he got ran over. Come to find out, after I left him, he went to a bar drinking. He met a guy that, they vibing. And the guy said, I could drop you off home. We lived up the street. This is by PG Plaza Mall. So the guy said, I could drop you off home. The guy, he got in the car. He turned around and it was 6 children under the age of 7 handcuffed to the van, to the back of the van, like one of those cargo vans. And Chris, I said his name. And Peter turned around and said, what the hell is this? And the guy said, oh, that's my product. Do you want one? And he said, hell no. And I'm going to call the police. The guy pulled a gun out on him. He jumped out the car, ran through a church parking lot. The guy brought the van around and ran him over. He had 17 broken ribs, a collapsed lung. His whole finger was pulled back, and he was in a coma for 7 days on a breathing machine. And that day changed my life. I had never been through anything like that. And it's crazy for everyone out there. It was a real Law and Order SVU moment for me. But the detective told us that is an epidemic in Maryland and Hispanic communities. People owe things, people take people's children. I would have never thought that. But in that moment for me, he almost died. And the last thing that happened was, fuck you, I put off on you from the bank. That was the last thing that happened. And for 7 whole days, you were in a coma. All because I left you. That was my feeling then. All because I left you. That's why you were in a coma. And from 2013 on, that became a pawn for him. From 2013 on, anything that was done wrong, the first thing that he would say out his mouth, well, maybe I'll go die. Well, maybe I'll get killed tonight. Knowing that was something that was very hard for me and something that kept me tied to him because I never wanted anything to happen to him. And after that, and through those 6 to 8 weeks after him in recovery, things just got worse. The drinking that's when I saw the anger behind the drinking. And I really thought at first it was, depression, 17 broken ribs, you got ran over. Like, this was just crazy. Like, that's what I thought it was. And then he didn't want me to leave the house. And at that time, I thought that it was because of what happened to him. Like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't want me to leave the house either. Shit, I barely wanted to live there anymore. I barely wanted to live in Hyattsville anymore. And that's when we moved to New York after Hyattsville. But that staying in the house turned into possession. Like, now you can't go out the house. Now this has become from something that you did voluntarily to something that you have to do. And from there, the pain that I felt for me abandoning him, I wanted to spend the rest of my life proving to him that I would never abandon him again. And that was the first step that I took towards creating a monster that I eventually had to live with. So, it's just really hard for me as I look back to know that was the moment that broke me. Because I was QB. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was QB. And that was the moment that really put humility into me. But prior to, I don't think I had humility. So I think that when that happened to me, it humbled me in such a way that I didn't have no balance. I didn't see that you can be a realist and still have humility. You can be humble but recognize things that don't serve you. Recognize things that are wrong in others while recognizing things that are wrong in yourself. So that was my first step. Now, I'm going to close it out because, then we'll get into how shit just turned left. Because after that, shit turned left once I was in New York. But for my therapist's sake, I'm going to close it out with, what I just learned from me saying that out loud. So I think that in my present, I have created this space where can nobody touch my heart. Like, I've created this space where I'm so hardened, where I'm so, you can't get close to me. You can't get into my space. I got my own bag. I don't need nothing from nobody. Has created this isolation for myself. And it's because I know deep down inside, the last time I felt that deep sense of compassion and nurturing towards someone, that they betrayed me. So moving forward, I create the terms. I create how we gonna operate in this. And if you don't like it, then you can go. It is what it is. You can go. I done been through worse. That's fucked up. Yeah, well, I'm still on my journey. It is what it is. But that was good. That doctor might be on to something. But the next time I express myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let everything organically happen and go with the flow. Or I'm going to try. That was my epiphany for today. And then once we talk about what happened to me in New York during those years of being up there, who knows the next lesson I learn. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for all y'all support. Thank y'all for, really sharing the DMs that I got from people, sharing what they did, what they've been through, how I helped you. That shit, like, y'all really inspire me. You guys really inspire me to be like, you know what, Tasha? All the embarrassment you used to feel, look, it's somebody else. It's somebody else that went through that. Oh my God, I wouldn't have never thought. People that smile at me every day and I smile right the hell back. You ain't phony, you ain't fake. We all got our own skeletons. We all get to choose who we want to know our business and who can be privy to it. It's just that this therapist done convinced me that I got to tell all of y'all. So I'm going to just tell all y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for being on the journey.